Farming food in Raid is one of the most important things you should be doing on your account if you want to be progressing and having more fun in the game. So in this video I'm gonna try and give you the ultimate Raid Shadow Legends food guide so you guys are always swimming in chickens. For those of you who are new, I'm Chris05 and I do my best to give you guys top quality Raid Shadow Legends guides, and I also do free account takeovers each Tuesday and Thursday, and I help as many of you as I can so you can actually enjoy the game a lot more. So if you find what I'm doing helpful, I would really appreciate it if you drop a like and subscribe to the channel. But now, let's get into it. When it comes down to food, the first and most important thing you need to get yourself is a campaign farmer. What a campaign farmer is basically a solo nuker champion that can actually clear waves super quickly and without needing extra help. The best place you could be farming food would be in campaign on stage 12 free on brutal, and if we gotta be completely honest, that is not exactly true. The best place you could be farming for XP would actually be stage 6, but the extra XP you're getting out of stage 6 is so negligible, it is far better for you to actually be farming stage 3, because here you're gonna be farming a lot of extra silver as well, due to the fact shields sell for slightly more than any other artifact in Raid. Notice I'm saying artifact because accessories do indeed sell for a lot more than shields or anything else. What you want to be doing is you want to farm stage 12 free brutal with a single campaign farmer that basically can one-shot waves. And what else do you want to do is bring free other food champions. For those of you who don't know, food champions means champions you are thinking about feeding into other champions so they can actually rank up, but if you're watching this video you already probably know what food champions or chickens are. Hey there guys, Chris from the future here. I noticed I forgot to mention that when you are actually farming with a campaign farmer, even if he's fully leveled, he still actually does take up a percentage of the XP from the campaign farming, or from dungeon farming for that matter. But basically, we have 25% per each champion in here that's going to be taking up XP. So right now, my Fellhound would be taking up 25% of the XP, and all of the other champions are taking the rest of the 75. If we only had 2 champions in here, the Fellhound would be taking up 50% XP, which is horrible, and the other champion you brought in would be taking the other 50. So in the end, the other champion will be leveling up faster, but you will be leaking 25% XP for no reason. So always bring 3 other food champions that need levels if you want to really be efficient. And this also works in dungeons, where if you have 5 slots, the campaign farmer is going to be taking up 20%, and the other 4 are going to be taking the rest of the 80, so yeah, be smart about that. Anyway, back to past Chris. And here's what happens when you put your food champions in, plus your campaign farmer. Not exactly very exciting stuff, but yes, what you want to be having is your solo farmer to be one-shotting the wave super quickly, so you can do this over and over and over again. Like, it's a lot of over and over again, guys. Nowadays, we actually have it a lot easier because we do have super raids involved, and this does slash all of this farming basically in half. And with amazing campaign farmers like Fellhound, for instance, you will be doing this in no time, or at least very close to it. It usually takes around 6 seconds, and that's basically due to slow animations loading, but if you have your champion built right, you will be able to replicate this result not too long from after you've started raid. For most of you, your solo farmer when you first start off would be Kale. What do you need on Kale for him to be a good solo farmer? Well, you basically need to have him crit rate capped, so get him at the 100%, and you also need a good amount of crit damage, something along the lines of 200 crit damage ought to do it, and also a decent amount of attack. Right now, my Kale is very neglected, not gonna lie, I haven't been using him in ages, but if you want to be using him for this, you definitely do want to have him above 4,000 attack or something along those lines, and also the speed, he does need to be faster than the wave, so something along the lines of 110 speed is gonna be making sure your Kale is going first before the waves. But if you want to be using him in other places, it might be best if you get him around 200 plus speed, and this also will allow him to actually take 2 turns before the waves even take 1, which is gonna make it very easy for him to actually be going through the waves nice and quick. If you use the promo code, you could also be using Wukong, thanks to the Monkey King promo code, and this guy is also gonna be super solid at getting the job done. He can be super quick about it, and while we're on the subject, don't forget you can actually start raid the right way using my download link, and that is gonna net you 4 amazing champions right out the get-go, including Corrado, who can be also a pretty decent campaign farmer at the beginning, and you're also gonna have 24 hours to use the promo code section, and one of the promo codes is still Monkey King, which is gonna give you Sun Wukong, which again is an excellent campaign farmer. You could also be using Demon Slayer as a promo code, and that's gonna give you Folney, and he can also get the job done, or you could just get yourself a support champion like the Hanorok, which is a Void legendary champion, and that's insane, and just get campaign farming done thanks to your Kale. You can support the channel for free by using my download link, and also get yourself tons of amazing stuff. Anyway, back to the video. You could also be using somebody like Bellower, because his A1 is actually always gonna be doing AoE, and so is his other skills, so he basically is gonna be an absolute monster when it comes down to waves, but you do need to build him nice and damagey for that thing to work. Right now my Bellower is pretty neglected, so don't even look at him, but yeah, you get the picture. You want to have a solid campaign farmer. Like I said, campaign will be the most efficient place for you if you're just looking for for XP, because that is going to give you the biggest amount of XP per energy spent. But another thing you could start doing when you get the hang of the game a little bit more and you actually get yourself a little bit bigger, better champions is to start solo farming, or at least farming dungeons with a little bit of food on the side. What I mean by that is when you need to be farming things like dragon or ice golem or spider, you could be bringing a few food champions along for the ride. Right now my account is at the point where I can actually just bring one nuker and just 4 food champions, and here's what the situation looks like. I just put down my big bad Marius in the lead and we go to dragon stage 20, and this way we actually get to solo the whole thing very nice and efficiently and quick too. Here's what Marius does. He basically wipes the waves, and you don't even need to have somebody as crazy as Marius. If you want things to go super quick, you do, but you could bring somebody like Artak, Theodore, Walking Tomb Drain. Who else? There are a few other champions that can get this job done nice and efficiently, but they are going to be a lot slower than what you're seeing right now with Marius. Like, look at this, 23 seconds. And we managed to farm ourselves 4 food champions with tons of extra XP. It's not as efficient as campaign, but it's basically free real estate, guys. So yeah, right now my Marius is not even specifically built for this. He's just built to hit like a horse, because yeah, he is a horse after all. But what you could also do is build yourself a dedicated solo farmer champion. And like I said, this could be a job for somebody like Artak, if I manage to find him. Here he is. My Artak right now is indeed actually built to be a solo farmer, and I do still actually use him against Ice Golem, because if I bring Marius against Ice Golem, he's gonna get his teeth kicked in, because that's how the boss works. But yeah, Artak can definitely get the job done, and the way you do that is you basically build your solo farmer champion in a regen build. You give him a good amount of HP, defense, maybe even a little bit of resistance so he doesn't get crowd controlled, and this is gonna be enough for us to actually bring this guy alongside 4 other food champions and get the job done. It's not gonna be as fast as Marius, but still, around 2 minutes run definitely ain't no joke. And again, if you haven't reached this stage in the game yet, you could still be farming a little bit of extra food by just removing some of your damage dealers or support champions and still have yourself a decent team, like this for example. Like here we do have 2 massive damage dealers, so I could just remove Newt, let's say, and just add myself at least 1 food champion, and here again I will be getting free real estate while my other idiots actually do the heavy lifting. Like I said, this also works for things like Spider, it's gonna work for Ice Golem, and it's also gonna work for Sand Devil if you have a good team set up. And for Sand Devil I do have myself a Godseeker Oniri team with a nuker. This could be anybody, and again I could be bringing 3 food champions in here and feel great about it, because I will be farming the Sand Devil tournament while leveling up food, which is pretty awesome. I do have a detailed video about how you could be building yourself a Sand Devil Oniri team, and also I do have a video about how you could be building yourself a solo farmer for your dungeons for Dragon, Ice Golem, and Spider's Den, so I definitely recommend you check out those if you still haven't built yourself such a game changer for your account. It really is gonna be super good for you. You could even do Phantom Shogun with a solo farmer. I think Empress does work like that, but yeah, basically research for each different stage what you could be bringing, and you could actually be getting yourself a lot of extra food while farming all sorts of other stuff. We are on the subject for food, so obviously we also gotta talk about the Guardian Ring, and here I'd say after you've gotten the masteries of your campaign farmer and unlocked yourself the gem mine, the best thing you could be buying would be unlocking yourself 5 slots for food champions to actually get 3 levels in here. It would be a pretty good idea for you to actually have 5 different champions of the same level and on the same rank, so you actually will need to remember to come back and level these idiots up at the same time. I myself right now almost have it perfect, but I do have still some random champions laying around here and there that do have different times, but yeah, you get it. Basically get yourself 5 champions in here and level them up basically for free as long as you're in the game, so you can actually click the level up button. What you could actually do is just get yourself some very high level champions, like let's say level 35 rank 4 champions, and those are actually gonna take quite a while to level up. It is gonna take several hours for them to get those levels, but again, they are gonna be a slow drip for you basically forever, so they're pretty much like the gem mine, just free real estate that just happens over and over again each day for free after you spend the initial whatever the hell gems it actually costs to unlock these. Was it 150 per, or maybe 250? I don't know, you can Google it or just see how it looks on your account. But another thing I do need to mention here is it's probably not gonna be worth it for most of us to level up these slots to their full potential, because it really is a lot of gems. Yes, it is free XP, but it's a little bit too much of an investment if you ask me. Even for me, who has gems in the 4 and 5 digits most of the time, I don't really feel like doing this, because that's also gonna make it a little bit more annoying for me to have to level these up a lot more often. If you think this is your thing, you could level them up. I would say it's not a huge mistake, but for me it's not really worth it. While we're on the subject on foods, you could also make sure to always complete your advanced quest, because that gives you a 4 and a 5-star chicken, which is pretty cool. I think the monthly quests also gave chickens if I'm not mistaken, I'm really not sure. sure about that. Fun fact, I was today years old till I realized Raid doesn't give you a single freaking chicken up until all the way down to day 111. Are you kidding me, Raid? But yeah, I guess they're a little bit stingy on the foods. Later on they do start giving a little bit more here and there, but nothing really to write home about, so whatever. But another thing you should be considering is also farming some of the tournaments here and there, because the rewards sometimes are indeed chickens here, and you are gonna probably have to farm them anyway, so it's kind of whatever. But yeah, with the solo food farming strategy, it definitely feels a lot better that way. The Doom Tower also gives a lot of chickens throughout the floor, so definitely make sure you try your best to actually be farming that as much as you can. Same can be said for the hard modes. There are plenty of chickens along the road, so try and get those for free basically. And the Cursed City is also another place you could be getting plenty of chickens from. At least from the normal stages, they're actually not that hard. As long as you have a few champions laying around, you could be progressing nice and good, and you could be picking up several chickens both on normal and on hard, so that's also worth a mention. Things like the clan shop also give chickens here and there, like you could be getting 3-star chickens, 2-star chickens even, which is pretty dumb if you ask me. Never buy 2-star chickens, guys. 4-star chickens are out there, 5-star chickens even, but this is something you actually stop buying at some point. I know it could sound shocking for you guys if you're in your first few months of the games, but yes, believe me, at some point you actually stop caring about chickens as much because you are gonna be farming that much food. Like right now, I am definitely very low on the chicken aspect if we gotta be completely honest, but on the other hand, I actually do have myself plenty of food champions ready to get fed, and you're gonna notice that a lot of my champions are actually already having a few levels in them. And the reason behind this is you kind of want to be using these ranking up chickens and actually leveling chickens when you actually do have some kind of incentive to do so. Right now we have a double dip incentive because we do have CVC going on, which also does give a good amount of chickens while we're on the subject, by the way. But also we do have this adventure deck of fate, which is going to give us a good amount of rewards just for leveling up our champions. And especially if you're in your first months in a game, leveling up champions is something you always need to be striving for, because that is going to allow you to get so much extra good champions you could be using on all of the different places you will need champions for. So when we do have events like this, what you want to be doing is you actually want to be leveling up even the champions you're going to be feeding for ranks, so you can actually get yourself some free points. Here's what I do. Right now I'm actually in the middle of doing a bunch of this. I do buy myself plenty of mystery shards. I really don't care what we get out of those mystery shards. Getting rares is cool and all, but it's all about getting ourselves champions we want to be feeding. And what we do is we go into the tavern or into the campaign if you prefer, but the tavern is a lot quicker as long as you do have yourself a good amount of brews. I myself do have a decent chunk right now, not as much as some other content creators, but it is definitely getting the job done for today at least. And what I do is I basically feed the level 1 champions with 1 brew and 3 level 1 food champions. This allows me to actually rank up these level 1 food champions now, and we can use it to level up the rank 2 champions to go even further. Nowadays with the new instant rank up function, it's actually a lot easier than it was before. It still could use a little bit of extra help, but still. Now, as you see, I already have myself a bunch of level 20 champions. You could either use 5 brews into your rank 2 champions, or you could just run them a few times in campaign. But yeah, we basically just try and level up these idiots up to rank 3, and now I notice that the auto function is gonna feed myself some level 11 champions, which definitely is a huge no-no in my book. I would much rather just level those up to 20 so we can rank them up to rank 3 later. And now, this is where the interesting thing starts, which a lot of people don't actually realize. You don't actually want to be insta-feeding these champions right now, guys. What you would much rather do is actually put a few levels into all of these food champions so they can give you a lot of extra, basically free points, or at least very cheap points. You could either run these guys one time through Super Raid's 12 free campaign, or you could do what I do and just give them a few levels with a single brew. What we do is we just level these idiots up to level 10, and then we get to use them for food, guys. This way, here it is. 1 brew gives us 18 points, which is kind of worth it. Oh my goodness, I was gonna do something very, very stupid there. Let's hope I don't auto-click something silly like this, but it definitely could happen if I'm not careful. Like, talking all of these things I'm talking while doing these definitely does have its risks, but let's hope I do not fall for it, as I often have. Anyway, I'm gonna level these idiots all to level 10, and this way I get to use the instant rank function without having to double check if Raid decided to feed level 1 champions instead, and in the end of the day, why wouldn't they? It's not exactly a function Raid does tell you about that it's a good idea to be feeding your champions brews like this for easy points, so it does make sense for it to be working the way it is, but still, you definitely want to be doing this if you want to be doing good on all sorts of champion training events, tournaments, and anything in between, like the one we have right now with CVC and Deck of Fates. And there we have it. All of these level 3 champions are up to level 10 now, and what I could do is go to upgrade rank and instant rank up my 3-star champions to level 4. Here's what it looks like. It is gonna feed all the level 10 champions, and we are gonna get ourselves even more points both for CVC and fragments for the Deck of Fates, which is pretty nice. This doesn't stop here though. Now we move down to the level 4 champions, or more like the rank 4 champions, and here we kinda do the same thing. You don't want to be instantly feeding your champions before giving them a few levels. I myself tend to give them 3 brews, some give them 4, but 3 I think is a very good breakpoint. If you are literally swimming in thousands of brews, yeah, give them whatever the hell you want, but for me I'd say 3 is a good breakpoint. You could also just run them a couple of times in a campaign instead, like spend 32 energy on these, and this is gonna start giving you even more fragments and CVC points. As you're noticing, this is starting to give a lot better results for us, especially if I actually give them the free brews I said I was going to. But yeah, this starts giving you better return on brew investments. By the way guys, I should have mentioned, food champions are only champions you don't want to be using, and these are champions you're going to be deleting, so only do this with commons, uncommons, and bad rares at the beginning. Once you get the hang of it, some of the epics also actually could become food for you, but until that happens, be very careful feeding anything more than a rare, and make sure it's actually a bad rare, because some of the rares are actually also game changers, especially for early game accounts. That definitely needed to be said, so take a mental note and be careful what you use as food. Now the cycle continues, and we go and level this rank 4 level 40 champion to level 5. We obviously have to switch to upgrade rank, and here we have it. We use 4 of the level 18 rank 4 champions as food, and now we got ourselves a brand new rank 5 level 1 champion, which again, spoiler alert, we are gonna throw in a bunch of brews for him to get those pesky levels. Here you want to be using 8 brews, and that is gonna give you a lot of extra points, because rank 5 champions just give a lot more points in return, so it's definitely worth using a lot more brews. Here we have it, and look at that. We got ourselves 540 CVC points and 189 fossils, which is again pretty nice. Once you got yourself 5 of these food champions, obviously you could be ranking up a level 50 champion to rank 6, and let's see who that's gonna be for us. Nowadays I actually have plenty of champions already leveled up to 60, so I gotta think long and hard who I want to be upgrading, but I guess Fallen is definitely somebody I could level up right now, and maybe I should give you a detailed guide about Fallen soon. Do let me know in the comments if you guys would like to see something like that real soon. But yeah, for now, let's see how the level 50 looks on him. Moving down to rank 6, that is. Here we have it, 1000 CVC points, pretty good stuff, and also tons of extra fate points from the fossils. And again, here you actually do want to be leveling these puppies if you are looking for quick extra points on the tournaments, events, and whatever the hell we have right now. So you could be doing something like even throwing 10 brews in this guy, but I'll probably end up just either farming Minotaur with him until he gets his masteries, which honestly I should have started before he got level 50 if we gotta be completely honest. So yeah, I might just end up buying this guy's masteries with gems, which is something you shouldn't really be doing, by the way. For most of you at least, it's much more beneficial for you to be farming up levels and masteries and silver in the Minotaur. But for that to really shine, it would be best if you guys actually bring level 1 rank 5 champions straight up, so they start getting all of their masteries while they're getting all of their levels, and by the time they get rank 6 level 60, they will actually have all of their masteries ready, and that would be a lot more efficient because you're also gonna farm tons of extra silver. And if we draw the line, the energy you actually spent for that to happen would be far cheaper than the 800 gems. It's actually coming down to something like 640, 650 gems. It is gonna take a little bit more time and work, but it's definitely very worth it. In the end of the day, if you're not enjoying the grind in Raid, what are you doing in Raid? You either spend time or you spend money, and if you are planning to be free to play, well, this is the way to do it. One thing I forgot to mention is it's always gonna be worth it for you guys to be having your XP boosts always active, and honestly, if you are playing the game actively, this always should be working, guys. Like, the game gives you so much XP boost, it's not even funny. Like, look at this, I have 23 weeks of XP boost. I don't buy XP boosts or anything like that. The game just showers you with XP boosts from all sorts of different places, like tournaments, like quests, like free rewards, and anything in between. So yeah, always make sure your XP boost is active when you're trying to farm a lot of food this way. And an extra step you could be going for, you could also buy yourself the Forge Pass. It's definitely giga worth it, because that is gonna give you 50% extra XP from all battles, as well as extra silver, and that definitely ain't no joke. So yeah, if you really want to be maximizing on farming food and silver, this would be very worth it. Like, spending 20 bucks in Raid has never been easier than to just throw it at the Forge Pass. That is definitely very worth it. So there you have it, guys. These are all my tips on farming tons of extra food in Raid without actually having to break the bank, and you're back. Do let me know if you think I missed anything important, and do let me know what's your next champion you're planning on bringing to rank 6, and I might actually make a guide about it. You could check out my detailed Ugo guide and see if you like that one, and I might make one at your request must do. Don't forget to download Raid from my download link if you want to start a second account the right way and get yourself tons of extra champions for free. Thanks for watching. I'm Crystal5, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.